after his breakout role in Pulp Fiction. Samuel L. Jackson's films have grossed more money at the box office than any other actor in cinema history. And in brackets it says more than 3 billion. That's a lot. I should say as well, although I'm getting these from blogs and that, they might not be true. I think most of them are true, so whatever. In the movie Psycho 1960, the shower scene is the most infamous on-screen murder in movie history. It consists of over 90 individual shots delivered in just 45 seconds, and no single shot ever shows the knife entering the victim's body. In the movie The Shining, Stanley Kubrick got the difficult scene where the blood pours from the elevators in only 3 takes. But each shot took 9 days to set up, and in the end it took about a year to get it right. The first toilet being flushed in a motion picture was in Alfred Hitchcock's movie Psycho. I didn't know that. That's kind of interesting. Lord of the Rings, the first film in the trilogy, had 540 computer-generated effects. The Two Towers had 799, and Return of the King had 1,488. Internet Movie Database's top-listed movie, The Shawshank Redemption, was based on a short story by Stephen King. I think the short story was called Rita Hayworth and The Shawshank Redemption. I've never read it though. And Stephen King sold the film rights for his short story for $1. At one point, Jim Carrey and his family lived in a car, and they all worked as janitors at a factory to make a living. About 40% of the film Schindler's List was shot using a handheld camera. Francis Ford Coppola, apologies if I've pronounced that wrong, shot nearly 200 hours of footage for Apocalypse Now. 200 hours, my god, that's 24, 48, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's over a week of footage. Wow. Okay. The American Humane Association objected to the scene in The Shawshank Redemption where Brooks feeds his crow a live maggot. The AHA said it was cruel to the maggot, and it required that the crow be fed a maggot that had died from natural causes. Oh. For the movie The Wizard of Oz, Judy Garland was paid $35 a week, while Toto the dog received $125 a week. The producers, I've just read that one. Brooke Shields spent a lot of time during the filming of Blue Lagoon standing or walking in a trench beside Chris Atkins, so that she wouldn't be taller than him in the scenes they had together. During filming of the chariot race scene in the movie Ben-Hur, one of the cameras was completely ruined when a chariot ran over it. The footage, right up to the camera's obliteration, was used in the final film. Near the beginning of the movie Back to the Future, there's a scene where they show all of the clocks at Doc's house. If you look closely, there is a clock with a little man hanging from the minute hand. In Carrie, the slow motion scene at the end of the movie was filmed in reverse to stimulate ghost-like movement effects. If watched, how do I pronounce that? Vigilantly, cars can be seen driving backwards in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Orson Welles was only 21 years old when he starred in and directed the movie Citizen Kane. babysitter murders. The Sesame Street characters Bert and Ernie were named after the cop and the taxi driver from the movie It's a Wonderful Life. The mechanical shark in the movie Jaws was nicknamed Bruce, after Steven Spielberg's lawyer. When the T-Rex devours the traffic light in San Diego, within the movie The Lost World, Jurassic Park, there is a sign close by that reads, "No dinosaurs." After reading the script for Men in Black, Will Smith did not want any part of the movie. It was his wife Jada that persuaded him to take the part. Midnight Cowboy was the first non-pornographic movie to receive an X rating. I'm not sure what an X rating is. Anyway, Marlon Brando received $4 million for his 10-minute role in the movie Superman. No one that is still alive knows who supplied the voice of God in the epic The Ten Commandments. I'm just seeing which ones to read out. Kevin Spacey and Mike Myers were both considered for the role of Inspector Clouseau for the 2006 movie Pink Panther. Was it Steve Martin that got that? I think it was. All three actors from the film Rebel Without a Cause died under tragic circumstances. Natalie Wood drowned, James Dean died in a car crash, and Sal Sal Mineo was stabbed to death by a stranger. Most of the distant shots of the submarine scene in the movie The Abyss are models. The carpet designs seen in Sid's hallway in Toy Story are the same as the carpet designs in The Shining. The story of Mulan had been told in China for almost 1500 years before Disney picked it up and made it into a movie. The ruby red slippers seen in the movie The Wizard of Oz once sold at auction for $660,000. Hitchcock used chocolate syrup to portray the blood seen in the shower scene for his classic film Psycho. Over 1,400 actresses were interviewed to play the part of Scarlett O'Hara for the movie Gone with the Wind. In the James Bond movie For Your Eyes Only, one of the Bond girls used to be a man. The longest Hollywood kiss was from the 1941 film You're in the Army Now. It lasted for 3 minutes and 3 seconds. Disney's Beauty and the Beast was the first animated film to be nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture. Bruce Lee was so fast that they actually had to slow a film down so you could see his moves. Liverpool is the most filmed British city. Alright. Rolling Stone Keith Richards was set to make a cameo appearance of the father of Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest, a commitment he could not keep. But obviously he turned up in the third film, didn't he? That's one of my favourite parts. You're in my way, boy. is Nicholas Coppola, but he changed it to disassociate with him. Okay, I'll start again. But he changed it to disassociate himself with Francis Ford. After the recent release of Bangkok Dangerous, one wonders if this was such a good idea. Not completely sure what that means, but I'm sure some people will get that. Okay. Samuel L. Jackson politely requests that anyone who claims not watching themselves in movies to please stop lying. I agree, if I was in a movie, then I think it would be awesome. Okay, that's not very good. The late Paul Newman was originally cast in the role of Captain Quint in Jaws, 1975. Sigourney Weaver's real name is Susan Weaver, but she changed her first name to be named after a character in the classic novel The Great Gatsby. Oprah is actually a typo. Her parents wanted to use the biblical name is it Orpah or Orphra? O-R-P-A-H. But the midwife couldn't spell, so it became Oprah. Couldn't spell, she needed to change 2 letters around. Oh, I quite like the name Oprah. As opposed to Orpah, whatever. The Dark Knight is the first Batman film not to have Batman in the title. 78% of all musicians turned actors or rappers, and of those 58% are black and only 2 are any good. Yeah, I don't know who came up with that. That's probably subject to opinion. Bear with me. Samuel L. Jackson's starring role of Jules Winfield in Pulp Fiction was ranked by the UK's Empire magazine as the second coolest movie character of all time. Does anyone want to guess the first? The first goes to Brad Pitt's Tyler Durden from Fight Club. I totally agree. Jean-Claude Van Damme speaks 5 languages. Go him. Okay, I've already read that one. I've already read that one. That was rubbish. So was that. That one's about Britney Spears. I'm pretty sure this article is called 50 Amazing Movie Facts. Oh, there's a picture of Brad Pitt there. Okay, you don't want to listen to me, Brian. I'll beat you. Second. Kevin Bacon has had at least a supporting role in 27% of all American movies made since 1982. That's a lot of movies. Yeah, there's a picture of him here, and I actually do not recognise him. I've heard of him, but I can't put a face to his name. Well, I can now, but I couldn't before. The first trailer for Cloverfield was shown before Transformers in 2007. It showed an explosion in the heart of New York City, and the Statue of Liberty's head being thrown down the street. Is that possible? Liberty is on an island, isn't it? Anyway. It was shot with a handheld video camera and gave no title. The movie, Cloverfield, is actually named after the boulevard in Santa Monica, California, where the bad robot officers were located during the making of the film. Cloverfield was originally just a code name for the movie. Johnny Depp dropped out of school at age 15 with hopes of becoming a rock star. first films. Among the first films ever made was a series of shorts in the 1870s that showed a horse galloping. Audiences were absolutely amazed. Bless. There's another one about Britney Spears. What is she doing there? Jack Nicholson hates giving interviews so much that he has not appeared on a talk show since 1971. It took $7,500,000 to build the Titanic, approximately 20 million tons of iceberg to sink it, and about 200 million to make a movie about it. Titanic passenger Stuart Collard's insurance claim for lost luggage lecture note Titanic passenger Stuart Collard's insurance claim for lost college lecture notes was $50. Passenger Charlotte Cardez's insurance claim for lost luggage was $177,352. New York Evening Sun headline on April 15th, 1912. All saved from Titanic after collision. Oops. Since the commercial success of The Happening this year, M. Night Shyamalan has been working feverishly on the script for a film he plans to call The Anticlimax. Obviously this page is a few years old because The Happening, that was 2006, something like that. Wes Craven first proposed the script for A Nightmare on Elm Street, one of the most successful horror films of all time, in 1981, but no one was interested. It floated aimlessly until the now hugely successful New Line Cinema picked it up. A Nightmare on Elm Street was the first feature film that New Line Cinema ever produced. Prior to that, they were just a small distribution company for college campuses. Jamie Lee Curtis made her acting debut in Halloween, and her mother, Janet Leigh, was the actress killed in the shower scene in Psycho, one of the most famous scenes in film history. Is that true? I didn't know that was her mother. Just a sec, just let me Google this. Sorry. Jamie Lee Curtis, Screaming Queen. I'm sure this was on Pointless. Oh my god, yes, Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh. Wow, I did not know that. Anyway, okay, here's a big surprise. When Michael Jackson was informed that his Thriller co-star Aurora had posted news for Playboy in 1980, Jackson confessed he had never heard of the magazine. Thanks to his background as an actor, Ronald Reagan is the only US president ever to have worn a Nazi uniform. Peter Ostrom, who played Charlie Bucket in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, was offered a 3-movie contract after the success of the film but turned it down. He never acted again and is now a veterinarian for large animals in rural New York State. And there's a photo of him with an enormous moustache. Mel Gibson is Empire's 12th greatest movie star of all time and 37th sexiest movie star ever. He was chosen numerous times as one of People magazine's 50 most beautiful people and voted one of the greatest movie stars of all time by Entertainment Weekly. despite all this, he met his wife through a dating service. Okay, there's a nice picture of Mel Gibson there, but I'm not sure when that is. I know, I think he's quite... I can't think of the right word in Braveheart, even though he's older than me, but... I don't know, that was 1995. He's probably aged since then. Okay, this was written by somebody, and they've put, contrary to popular belief, Angelina Jolie is not that attractive. Oh, I've already read that one. The charming metal band Cannibal Corpse appeared in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective because they are Jim Carrey's favourite band. Tupac was cast in Menace II Society, but was fired after a fist fight with the film's director. He auditioned for the part of Bubba in Forrest Gump and won a role in the film Woo, but was shot and killed 5 days before filming began. Oh. Brad Pitt's first job was dancing in a chicken suit to attract customers to an El Below logo, restaurant on Sunset Boulevard. Okay, let's see if I can find any more. Okay, there's a few more here. Rain Man on Oprah. Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman said the farting in the phone booth bit was improvised when Hoffman actually passed gas while the scene was being filmed. Hoffman said it was his favourite scene ever. Okay, I've never seen Rain Man, so I don't know what that's all about. Forrest Gump. The park bench that Tom Hanks sat on for much of the movie was located in historic Savannah, Georgia at Chippewa Square. The fiberglass bench he sat on since then has been removed and placed into a museum to avoid being vandalised, destroyed by bad weather, or stolen. The church where the feather first falls was about 100 yards down the street from the bench. Titanic. James Cameron was adamant about not including any song in the movie, even over the closing credits. Composer John James Horner secretly arranged with lyricist Will Jennings and singer Celine Dion to write My Heart Will Go On, a recorded demo tape, which he then presented to Cameron. The song won an Oscar. Steven Spielberg's original concept was for a much darker movie in which a family was terrorized in their house by aliens, and this was my E.T. When Spielberg decided to go with a more benevolent alien, the family in jeopardy concept was recycled as Poltergeist in 1982. Wait a minute. Yeah, ignore me. Okay. Shawshank Redemption. Kevin Costner turned down the role of Andy Dufresne, a decision he strongly regretted later on. Who can blame him? Silence of the Lambs. Jodie Foster claims that during the first meeting between Lecter and Starling, Anthony Hopkins' mocking of her southern accent was not rehearsed, and that Hopkins improvised it on the spot. Foster's reaction of horror was completely genuine, as she felt personally attacked, even though she later thanked Hopkins for generating such an honest reaction. The Shining. Stanley Kubrick considered both Robert De Niro and Robin Williams for the role of Jack Torrance, but decided against both of them. Kubrick didn't think De Niro would suit the part after watching his performance in Taxi Driver, as he deemed De Niro not psychotic enough for the role. He didn't think Williams would suit the part after watching his performance in Mork and Mindy, as he deemed him too psychotic for the role. According to Stephen King, Kubrick also briefly considered Harrison Ford. Avatar. To help the actors prepare for their roles, director James Cameron took the cast and crew to Hawaii, where they spent their days trekking through the forests and jungles and living like tribes, building campfires, eating fish, etc., jungle sets to aid and guide actors and crew. So is Saldana, even dressed up as a warrior during these journeys, complete with an alien tail. Pulp Fiction. The word fuck is used 265 times. The Godfather. The cat held by Marlon Brando in the opening scene was a stray the actor found while on the lot at Paramount, and was not originally called in for the script. So content was the cat that its purring muffled some of Brando's dialogue, and as a result most of his lines had to be looped. Grease. The scene in Frenchie's bedroom where Rizzo is singing the line about Elvis, which was actually filmed the same day that Elvis died. Wow, that's a little bit of a coincidence, isn't it? Hook. Dustin Hoffman's 3 children make appearances in the movie. His youngest son Max Hoffman plays 5-year-old Peter Pan. His daughter Rebecca Hoffman plays Jane in the play at the beginning of the movie, and his oldest son Jake Hoffman plays a Little League player in Jack's basketball game. The Exorcist. Ellen Burstyn received a permanent spinal injury during filming, and in the sequence where she is thrown away from her possessed daughter, a harness jerked her away hard from the bed. She fell on her coccyx and screamed